we may have to do a survey. Would just apply to the two new signs. As far as the existing signs, you know, still no response from DOT on these, so.
Interesting, okay.
So also, I mean, there's a few other things with that report from the DOT. There needs to be a traffic plan that needs to be developed. There also has to be a traffic study that needs to be done according to the DOT as well. So,
In regards to adding the signs or something else?
because Hillview touches their road, so these are requirements that they're asking for putting up that the sign and being able to enforce it.
Would the same apply to Dayton, even though it's been in the ordinance for way older than my age?
You know what, I'm not gonna go down that road, but we could probably, get some signs up there and enforce signs if that's
So that,
what's needed, so.
So that's the question that I have at the DOT right now, right? Because they, my interpretation of it is that those signs were technically grandfathered in at the time that when the ordinance was written for those roads. So any new processes, in my opinion, shouldn't apply to those existing signs. So I think that's the question I have out to DOT right now. And we're gonna, you know, I'll give an update once I have one on it. But you know, we'll try to press them as best we can to get an update there.
Good. Yeah, I mean, I know you all have what I sent. I just find it odd that there's an ordinance to restrict these heavy vehicles. There's no sign there to enforce that to the drivers. And now we are possibly going to be forcing drivers to put that weight limit onto the road. Like, it just does not make sense to me, so I'm hoping to dive into this and maybe I'll get some answers, but,
So I don't wanna speak for Mr. Brewer, but he will also, if you come to the planning board meeting, I'm sure he can address some of your concerns there.
yeah, I know I
Legally.
reached out to him as well, so I'll see if he responds. And then I know that, a few people were at the, League of Municipalities luncheon. I love social media, so I did see that, Mr. Vitola was there as well. I was just curious if I heard through the grapevine and social media posts that there was mention of, the McDonald's application being voted on the way that it was. I mean, that kind of annoys me as a resident who feels like he was kind of mocking that. So I was just curious, you don't have to answer, but if anyone felt, or what was said, if there's any reaction to him bringing that up in that type of forum.
I think it was a surprise to everybody sitting there.
Okay, that was it. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin.
Hi, Joanne Dugan, 31 Canfield, excuse my voice.
Hey, Joey.
I just have a really quick thing on the signage again. I know the DOT has to approve the signs that touch a state road. Canfield Place doesn't touch a state road. We don't have a sign.
Right.
Is that something that we can,
Yeah, that's what I
we
said.
can get?
Mr. Houston worked on the sign.
Yeah, that's,
I know there's probably some other ones that are on the list that
there's a lot.
also,
I forget the total number of roads, but I
Yeah.
think the roads actually go back to, I wanna say the 1950s or something.
yeah, 1959.
Right, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they were added, but none of those roads, in my research, none of those roads actually have a sign on it,
Right.
right? So, and that was what I was referencing earlier, was that, you know, I'm asking DOT if anything is needed from them. We'll see what their response is, it may be nothing.
Right, because those roads don't touch a state
Right,
road, so,
understood,
yeah.
understood. I just
Yeah,
wanna.
I know you.
I just wanna dot, yeah, I just wanna dot my i's, cross my t's,
Yeah,
make sure
sure.
that, you know, we're doing, and then at some point, we'll make a decision as to, what we're gonna do, when we're gonna put those signs in.
Okay, great, I just want to make sure there was a distinction between
Yeah.
the state one.
Understood.
Okay,
Thank you.
Seeing no one else, moving forward to introduction of the ordinances.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Ordinance, I, Councilmember Houston, introduce the following ordinance and read the same by title and move that it be passed on first reading. Ordinance number 12-2025. an ordinance providing for the partial amendment, supplementation, and repeal of Chapter 27, Section 27-4 in the revised ordinances of the Borough of Morris Plains, New Jersey, 1972.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Art. Roll call, please.
Mr. Green?
Yes.
Sorry. Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Broom?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Ivy?
Yes.
Mr. Pontier?
Yes.
Ms. Durkin?
Yes.
I, Councilmember Houston, offer the following resolution. Whereas the above ordinance was introduced and read by title at this meeting on December 4, 2025, and passed on the first reading. Now therefore be it resolved that at a meeting to be held on December 18, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, at the municipal building in the said borough, this council will further consider for second reading and final passage the said ordinance. And be it further resolved that the clerk of this borough be and she is hereby directed to publish and mail the proper notice therefore, including the ordinance, post the ordinance on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and to make copies available to members of the general public.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Nancy, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. Next.
Mr. Haran, do we,
I just want to place something on the record here.
Sure.
Prior to ordinance 13-2025 being introduced for first reading, there are a few amendments I'd like to place on the record. Chapter 2, Article 8, Section 2-46 is hereby amended, supplemented, and revised to reflect that the fees for Chapter 16-3, subsections B4 are as follows. For non-resident, industrial, commercial, or retail establishments, sponsored teams, fee per season for one use only is $400. For usage up to 3 weeks is $700. For usage between 4 and 6 weeks, $900. And season use, which is more than 6 weeks, is $1,500. Furthermore, Chapter 2, Article 8, Section 2-46 of the Borough Code is hereby amended, supplemented, and revised to reflect that the fee in Chapter 16-8, subsection D, regarding pool fees for non-residents is $525 for a family before May 8th and $550 for a family after May 8th. Furthermore, Chapter 2, Article 8, Section 2-46 of the Borough Code is hereby amended, supplemented, and revised to reflect that there is a new fee in Appendix A-17, subsection M2, which is a weekly vendor permit fee in the amount of $15. Lastly, Chapter 2, Article 8, Section 2-46 of the Borough Code is hereby amended, supplemented, and revised to reflect that there is a new fee under Chapter 11, Fire Prevention, with the new fee being set forth in Chapter 11-18 for a certificate of habitability for new tenancy in the amount of $50. With those amendments, Councilmember Houston may now introduce 13-2 or 2025 for first reading.
thank you, Mr. Haran. I, Councilmember Houston, introduce the following ordinance and read the same by title and move that it be passed on first reading. Ordinance number 13-2025, an ordinance providing for the partial amendment, supplementation, and repeal of certain fees set forth in the fee schedule of the Borough of Morris Plains, Chapter 2, Section 2-46, in the revised ordinances of the Borough of Morris Plains, New Jersey, 1972.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Mike Ivy. Roll call, please.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Broom?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Ivy?
Yes.
Mr. Pontier?
Yes.
Ms. Durkin?
Yes.
I, Councilmember Houston, offer the following resolution. Whereas the above ordinance was introduced and read by title at this meeting on December 4th, 2025, and passed on the first reading. Now therefore be it resolved that at a meeting to be held on December 18th, 2025, at 7:30 p.m. prevailing time, at the municipal building in the said borough, this council will further consider for second reading and final passage the said ordinance. And be it further resolved that the clerk of this borough be and she is hereby directed to publish and mail the proper notice therefore, including the ordinance, post the ordinance on the bulletin board in the municipal building, and to make copies available to members of the general public.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. Moving on to ordinances on second reading. Mr. Houston.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I, Councilmember Houston, read by title the ordinance entitled, Ordinance Number 10-2025, an ordinance concerning salaries and longevity pay, which ordinance was introduced and passed on first reading at a meeting held on November 13th, 2025.
I announce the meeting is open for a public hearing on the ordinance. Seeing no one, I close the public hearing.
I, Councilmember Houston, state that the above ordinance, as read by title on second reading at this meeting, be adopted and finally passed.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tyler, roll call please.
Mr. Cortez?
Yes.
Mr. Room?
Yes.
Mr. Houston?
Yes.
Mr. Ivy?
Yes.
Mr. Pontier?
Yes.
Ms. Virgin?
Yes.
I declare the ordinance adopted and finally passed. Do we want to do that resolution, or would we do that under unfinished business? Are you ready to vote, or do you want to
I
talk about it? Unfinished business. Cortez.
This is the resolution 2025-142, right? Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
Can you put the mic
If
over?
if there's no charge in applying for this, and I understand the council's concern that there could be costs that we don't have, and there's a certain level of, we're not comfortable. But my suggestion was if we were to approve it, in the meantime, we go forward, because the funds, get used up. Use the next month or two to get a hard number of what, or projected number of what these engineering costs or plans may be. So that if we do get approved, we'll know what those costs are, and we accept or don't accept the grant, because we don't have to accept the grant. And again, there's no cost out of our pocket to apply for it, but there could be costs out of our pocket, and I respect that from the council, because it is an unknown, and it is taxpayers' money. And I think we still have a shot to just let it ride now, do our homework. If we find out that it costs, $5,000-6,000, it's one thing. If we find out that it costs $200,000, not worth it. There's time to do that. So my recommendation would be, if you guys are okay with it, to let it just fly, because there are no costs involved, with the intent to get hard numbers, which I think we can get some rough numbers to, that people can feel comfortable with, should we get the money.
So, maybe I misunderstood, because that was not my understanding of what Steve said.
No.
My understanding of what Steve said was that the application, the actual process for us to apply is gonna be an out-of-pocket cost
Before.
before.
All right, I'm
Because we have to
all right.
do plans, and there's all sorts of things we have to do, and as we discussed here, and even Mr. Walsh said, but we have no idea what those costs are.
And then in that case, we should get those costs and then
Right.
apply them.
I
I
would-
would table this until we know what those costs are.
Exactly.
There's also a project budget that's supposed to be developed, which would extend through the life of the project, including all the maintenance fees, so I think we should be able to see that, because we would be signing up for that over this 5-year period.
What's the deadline for the grant?
There is none.
There is
The only
It's
thing-
rolled.
Oh, the money can run
Funds
out.
can come
Okay,
out.
okay,
Funds
so,
come out.
so it's a
It's a rolling
time
grant.
sensitive.
It's a rolling grant, so we run the risk of not getting it at all, but I think it's better for us to understand what our costs are
Absolutely.
upfront, because there is a strong chance, because Mr. Ivy said earlier that, the chance of us getting it is low. So there's a strong chance that whatever costs that we put out, we just absorb those, right? We're not gonna get them back. And there are some costs that even if we do get approved for the grant, we're not gonna get back anyway, right? So I would like to understand what those costs are, so that we can at least be responsible when we're applying for this. So I agree with Mr. Ivy's suggestion about getting those costs first, and then, putting this on a later.
We can't put it through without doing the
Correct.
work.
Correct.
There's one more piece that I'd like us to consider, and that is that we don't have currently a grant administrator. So reporting that has to happen on a periodic basis to be in compliance with the grant award. You have to submit certain reports and data and all that stuff. A lot of times it ends up falling on our CFO, and, that's not really a good solution for this situation, if it's an intense kind of reporting. That's gotta go on for years after. So, if we could figure out who's gonna handle that grant administration, if there's a cost associated with that also.
So I think that really could be done in-house somehow, with somebody, and we did, COVID, which is probably the most labor intensive one that we've ever done, was taken care of in-house, so I don't spend more money to go hire somebody or whatever to administer these grants, probably, really should be looked at hard too, because I really think that that could be covered.
Yeah, I'm not suggesting we hire someone, I'm just
I thought
suggesting
that-
who's going to do it.
Consultant, I thought you said.
Consultants are actually paid for on the grant, so they can do that.
Oh, so we can get a consultant to administer.
Right, but again, that would be an upfront cost, and then. but
No,
if-
that would be hired after. award.
Oh, okay, yeah, right afterward. Just out of curiosity, Mr. Mayor, you said we did it in-house during COVID?
Yeah.
Who did it in-house?
Anna did it.
Anna did.
All the
Or
reports.
CFO? Okay,
Well, you know, I mean,
sure, yeah, okay.
Well, I guess, it seems like the RS, or the sentiment is to table it, so we can more exact cost.
we have no resolutions, no new business, we do have vouchers.
I move that the checklist dated December 4th, 2025, in the amount of $2,633,950.61 be approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Art, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. We do need another executive session. What's that?
Okay. Resolution number 2025-140, executive session. Be resolved by the Borough Council of the Borough of North Shore on the 4th day of December 2025. The Mayor and the Borough Council should meet in executive session in which the public shall be excluded to discuss matters permitted pursuant NJSA 10:4-12, subsections
B8.
D8.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The ayes have it. Thank you, everybody, for coming out. Stay warm in the cold weather.